Hi everyone, welcome to Live Your Happy 365. It's always an honor and a joy to join you in these lessons. They are so pow, pow, pow. So lesson 140, only salvation can be said to cure. Let's go ahead and put our hand on our heart. Just open up the energy of living this lesson today, bringing it into our hearts, and just doing our part and having our, what I like to say, our big willingness to get out of our own way and let Spirit lead us on this journey of awakening. Amen. So I'll read to you my journaling and my little insight from Spirit in regards to this lesson that I got. You will suffer less when you let go of the judgments of whatever you may be suffering about. Guilt kills your happy. So you will suffer less when you let go of the judgments of what you are suffering about. So we feel so guilty and there's no salvation and there's actually death when we are not feeling well, or we are judging ourselves because we're judging and like beating ourselves up because we're not doing things right, or we're not awakened, or whatever it is. So there's like this guilt or judgment on the suffering, instead of looking at our beliefs with these workbook lessons with Spirit on what we're thinking and believing that is really what's hurting us. And that's being gentle with ourselves. That's when we're being saved from our own thoughts and our own mind. And that's what the cure is, all is playing out perfect. Trust your truest self. So our truest self that's connected to God, that's never left the mind of God, to trust that part of ourselves, that innocence. Be kind, be gentle, and be present. The suffering just disappears, for you no longer believe it. So the suffering disappears because you no longer believe it. Okay, let's go ahead and read here this paragraph 3 that stood out for me and see what comes from there. The happy dreams the Holy Spirit brings are different from the dreaming of the world, where one can merely dream he is awake. The dreams forgiveness lets the mind perceive do not induce another form of sleep, so that the dreamer dreams another dream. His happy dreams are heralds of the dawn of truth upon the mind. They lead from sleep to gentle awakening, so that dreams are gone, and thus they cure for all eternity. So I begin to experience the happy dream when I get really honest about, I become very authentic with myself of what I'm going through, or whatever it is that's in my way, in the sense of when I'm in my own way. It's to not be scared of those feelings, to not bash myself because of what I'm feeling. So today, how I did that was that I was realizing that there was this recurring thought in my mind. I started to realize that I get very uneasy when I have like big projects supposedly in form, such as handling my mom's finances right now, because I'm her legal guardian and she's older, and my brother and I have to help her financially. I have to look at a lot of accounting stuff right now. And then Christian's redoing my website, so there's a lot of things going on there, and things creative stuff and all these things. So that's in the world of form, right? So we're gonna have things in the world of form. Salvation is a cure. So salvation is the recognition that these things are just symbols, and I get to experience them through joy or through pain. So I was experiencing them through pain because the thought was, it just makes me want to cry thinking about it. I'm very emotional today. I'm very in my eyes, so I might start crying because I'm very sensitive today. The thought is, this is too overwhelming. It's too many things. It's that thought. It's like a little girl that has like a little bit of a panic. It's like, it's too much. you know, this is too big for me. You know, it's like, in form, it doesn't seem like a lot, but inside of me, I'm like, oh my God, I can't handle my mom's finances, or, you know, I can't handle this conversation with Christian about my website because I have no idea what it looks like or how it should be. And there was like, and it's like in the background of my whole life. It's like this little girl, because again, many of you know, supposedly Informa was abandoned by my father. I committed suicide when I was 3 months old. And I think as I grew older, I started to have like, I don't know, just hard with coping skills, because my mother really did everything for me as I was growing up because of her own guilt. So she would like overcompensate for a lot of things, and she did perfect. You know, her mothering was perfect. Although I started to take things on, and I've become, and you guys can let me know in your comments how you feel about this, but there's a sense of overwhelm and that it's too much for me. Oh my God, I can't handle this. So I was looking at the thought, you know, in reference to Byron Katie's work, which I love so much and I'm very into right now, and has so much to do with the Course in Miracles. If you hear her, I was looking at the thought and I was like, is that really true? You know, is that thought, you know, this is too much for me, I'm overwhelmed, I can't deal with my mom's finances and I can't deal with the website. Is that even true? Is that 100% true? The first thing that comes to me when I ask that question is, no, it's not true. You know, is it 100% true that I can't handle everything? When I look at it, no, you know, that's not true. I can't say that that's 100% true, that I can't handle everything, because I have evidence that I can, you know? So that's already a little bit of a lie there. So then the second question is, how am I when how do I react when I think this thought? So I see myself on the phone with Christian, can't even get words out because I don't even know what to tell him about my website. So like, I see myself like, or I think of sitting in the front of the computer and doing finances, and I see my stress. So how do I react? So this is so curing, by the way. That's why I'm talking about this, because this is very curing. This cures a lot of things in our mind. It gives us a lot of salvation. I get a little, feeling-wise, I get a little bit constricted in my heart. I get a little bit sad. I get like a little girl. I just want to hide. I don't feel empowered. I feel scared. I'm not trusting. I avoid. I don't want to deal with things. I procrastinate, right? Yeah, so that's all the emotions I get. I get very sad, and I feel guilty. So looking at that person, looking at myself in those scenarios and seeing who would I be without that thought, which is the huge cure. Because the ego and our thoughts want to be seen, guys. Our thoughts want to be looked at. It's like, that's why war belongs on paper. You know, it's like, write it down, because it gets seen. And then that's what this whole workbook stuff is about. That's why we do a lot of meditations, is because the ego wants to be seen. It's like, okay. And then when we see it, then it doesn't have reign over us anymore. It's like, okay, so the ego had his little rant right now with, how do I react? And then now, how would I be without the thought? So the ego has been seen, my ego thoughts have been seen. Now, how do I react when I think these thoughts? So I do that, the ego seen. And then the last question is, who would I be without the thought, right? So here's where my true self comes in. You know, who would I be without the thought? Well, without the thought, I would be free. I'll be enjoying doing the website with Christian. I will trust and know that Spirit's guiding it. See how curing that is? That's such a cure. That's a cure. That's salvation. My mother, you know, it would be fun to sit down and do her finances, and just, I feel so grateful that I'm able to, when I don't have that story, that I'm able to support her and love her and give to her. Now at her old age, I get to provide for her, you know. I feel empowered. I feel that nothing's wrong here. Everything's exactly perfect. And the opposite of that, because then you could do a turnaround, is so the problem at the beginning, the problem that I needed to be saved from was, this is too much, I can't handle this. So the turnaround is, this is not too much, I can't handle it, right? And I can, and you can too. We can all handle it, especially with Spirit by our side, you know. So only salvation can be said to cure, is like, salvation can cure when we realize we are saved, when we're saved from our own thinking, you know, and our own thinking is what hurts us, and then we live the happy dream. So I invite you to, and this is a whole longer video than I thought, but I feel that this is so important for all of us because we're all like little children hiding in a little cave, scared to shine. And it's all a lie, and it's important to get that lie out on paper so that ego's seen, and then to know what is really real here, which is love. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day practicing lesson 140. Let me know what's your dilemma and work through these questions and see how that helps you. I would love to hear some feedback from you. Also, on the description, either today or in a few days, you'll be able to get links to my Live Your Happy 9-week program, which goes with my book, Live Your Happy. It's a very powerful program of where you're able to really implement the teachings of A Course in Miracles in your life without compromise and without exceptions. Also, I have a free monthly class. You can find that on my website. And lastly, if you want to donate to this series, it is greatly appreciated. We are recommending $1 a day. So that's either $3.65. I got that number right, $3.65, or let's say it's 30 days, $30, whatever excites you. So we will welcome any tithes, donations you guys want to make to this video series. It's greatly appreciated. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day filled with love and light. Until next time. Choo choo.